Yeah. Testing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are. I would like to call the meeting to order, but before we start, just some housekeeping rules. We would like you to put your phone on silent, and we normally ask that there be no recording because we have a recording taking place. You ready? Okay. So we are about to begin, ladies and gentlemen, and as always, we would like to ask you to stand at attention for the national anthem, where we listen to an instrumental of it. On Francisca Bryce to lead us in prayer. Miss Francisca Bryce.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I start the prayer where I want you to really concentrate, and we're going to call the Spirit to be with us. Spirit of the living God, those who know it, can we just say it? Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on us. Melt us, mold us, fill us, use us. Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on us. Melt us, mold us, fill us, use us. Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on us. Melt us, mold us, fill us, use us. Now I need you to close your eyes and listen as we pray together. I am going to be praying, but you're going to be praying in your mind. Heavenly Father, as we gather together today, we ask for your spirit of unity to be present among us. Help us to put aside any personal agenda or differences and work together in harmony towards our common goal. We ask for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to enable in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a united group and nurture the bonds of community. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bryce. And let me welcome all of you who are here with us this evening. Let me hasten to welcome those who are following us on live stream around the island, and a special welcome to those who are in the diaspora, who are regular followers of what has now become a staple on a Sunday. Welcome to the United Workers' Party Flabo Live Sufra edition. But in the true Sulphur City spirit, to give you a real Soufriere welcome, we would like to open by calling on Mr. Dylan Alsey, who is the chairman of the Soufriere branch and a member of the youth arm, and he will deliver the welcome remarks.
Good evening, everybody. Political leader, our next candidate, our next member of parliament for Soufriere Fosse Jacques, Senator Harold Stanislas. The executive of the Soufriere Fosse Jacques, branch members, well-wishers, I'd like to welcome you to the Soufriere Fosse Jacques. I hope you're here to enjoy a lot of fresh food. Also have a raffle going on. Welcome you here. Have a great time by our speakers. Time with us, all right? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alsey. Let me just inform you, we are crises in this country today. Lucia, we have never seen it. Now, remind you, we are living of course, it was by our government on top of the high put a 2.5% worse. In addition to that, refuse to more expensive than it ought. A gallon of gas whereas of the United Workers, gas was more market. You have at 13.90. This is a government that you off. Don't. That is another crisis in terms of came in. What did with the, but on all of those crises, focus our and scandal that they are. So address you. I know one or two, but we are going to speaker Soufriere Fosse Jacques, the former Fosse Jacques nationally.
And it must be something fundamentally wrong when a minister refuses to inform the public of how many passports he has allocated for an investment to do a certain project. And it must be intolerable when doctors in our hospitals get attacked for saying the truth about the poor state of our healthcare system, which continues to fail our grandmothers and our grandfathers and our uncles and our aunties and our children and our brothers and sisters. We must stand up. They need us to stand up.
CIP is a very, 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 very favorite subject of mine. But let me touch a little on the healthcare. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse. But I want to say that the Labour Party will not finish the hospital before elections. Because the UWP is in a position now to be in charge. It is very rare, or it has happened before, where the opposition becomes in charge of a country. But unfortunately, the UWP may have not realized that as yet. When I say that the Labour Party will not finish the hospital, a lot of us, St. Lucia, is looking at the finishing of the hospital as far as the back store in the back is concerned, the blue roof flat buildings. The finishing of the hospital is the finishing of the stories, all the stories, the big building in the front, that somebody had the brains to, if you go up there, you will see these huge blue water tanks. Somebody saw the need that a hospital needs water, and in preparation, there is this set of more than one water tank. That's preparatory work for a hospital. There is a heliport where a helicopter can move to another location or pick up somebody in the forest, a tourist or somebody, pretty quick upon request. And this facility would be one of the facilities to consume less energy, putting all the other health facilities together by the introduction and the adaptation of solar. So you're not going to tell me you're going to go in the backyard where that look like classrooms, medical classrooms, and tell me that's what you're finishing, and you're finishing the hospital before elections. So until the major building in front is not finished, you have not finished the hospital. And it is our job to take charge of this country and let Philip Pierre know that until you don't finish this building in the front, you have not given us the hospital, because you have $200 million to finish that structure, not the warehouse in the back. So I say again, be on guard, supporters of the UWP, take charge and demand that the front, the real hospital, is finished before election. That's my take on healthcare. The only other thing I can say is, in any establishment where the authoritative staff of that establishment are dropping like ripe mangoes on the ground by resigning, something is wrong, dramatically wrong with that establishment. And the problem with that establishment, it is not a bakery, it is not a newspaper, it is not a regular office, it is an institution that is responsible for people's lives. And the Philip Pierre administration is messing around with the lives of St. Lucians, is messing around with the lives of the tourists that come to this country. We have very, very, very rich tourists coming to this country. There is a case in point where there was a wedding at Jalousie, or no, not Jalousie, some hotel, and the ring was forgotten, the wedding ring. And these people were so rich that a private jet was able to bring that ring down from Australia in time for the wedding. When you have these kind of people coming to your country, you cannot have piao backstore and say you have a hospital for them. Because right now, we are running on reviews. We are running on reviews. We have a prime minister that said that St. Lucia will not see tourists again. But he does not understand. He does not understand. Like there is a Honda advertisement. A Honda had an ad, the car that sells itself. St. Lucia, when it comes to tourism, sells itself. We have everything in place for this island to sell itself to tourism. So, for Philip Pierre to be so short-sighted to say that we will not see tourism in this country again. And we still have him there as Prime Minister. Something is wrong with us. We are sleeping. CIP. CIP. You know, the real truth is we had bananas and we had tourism. Now there is an argument, salaki chue fig, chalaki chue fig. It's simple. The Labour Party killed the banana industry. Because it's the Labour Party that took the banana industry and cut it in four. 4 private companies, 4 separate accountants, 4 sets of separate decisions to be made. In the meantime, you are in a competitive structure for the sale of your banana. You have big competitors, advantage like Chiquita and whoever. And then the confusion started. So we lost the banana money. We had to get money somewhere else. For now, we're living on tourism and Taiwan. So let's sell passports. Let's sell passports. The Alan Chastner administration sold some passports. You can't talk about that compared to what's happening there now. Because I'm hearing 1 billion US. Am I hearing right? Is somewhere here or there, China or somewhere. That means America wants in that money. China don't want to give up that money. We don't know if it's in a false bank, a fake bank in China. When we're talking of BRICS, wants that money. When we're talking of China hiding the Chinese all over the place, and that money is lost. In the meantime, we're going for huge loans. Big loan for this over there, big loans for that over there, and we have, I don't even want to say 1 billion, because I can't wake up and believe that as yet. US dollars. The CIP situation is a very serious situation. And St. Lucians have not understood it as yet. But I have, because I know in about 2 to 3 years' time, there will be some arrests. They will extradite some people. It will happen. And something about the American system, they do not get involved too early. Right now, there is a civil matter going on. What they normally do, from what I've observed, is that they await the decision from the civil matter, and they move. And when I've studied from what I know, what I've seen, what I've heard, I know there will be some arrests. I know there will be some responsibilities. Some people who have to come up with some responsibilities. And I know that will tarnish not only the legislation. So whilst it may be an opportunity, we have to be very conscious of our patriotism. It is very unfair the way we have allowed the Labour Party to scandalize the hierarchy of the UWP. And I want to just boldly speak about that issue of $7 million. Because to me, it has not well been addressed. We were in a situation, we were in a state where people were dying all over the world. People were dying in St. Lucia. I stayed inside of a house for 3 months, not going nowhere. We don't know the cure. No doctor knows the cure. No Einstein. Nobody knows the cure. Nobody knows where it come from, where it going, when it not coming, when it coming in. You are the prime minister at the time that got wind that, listen, looks like I need to get my country going back in this competitive world. It seems there may be a situation concerning $7 million. Let me see what this is. Let me take a chance for my country. Let me take a chance for my country. I will pay that $7 million. because Trump said to use Clorox. So nothing wrong in me trying. If you rob me, I'll get my money back. I already get 2 million. I'll get the rest. And I'm saying this, and the Labour Party took this thing and 7 million up to now. And this is where I blame UWP. What about the 9 million? What about the 9 million to protect the CIP terrorists? In a country of 80,000 people, you have private citizens through passport boasting that they have $100 million in the bank. The imbalance, where nobody is getting arrested, but a young man will be locked up for making his first mistake at 17 or 16. You're going to come and say you are to protect that civil servant who broke the law, that he will end up in court in the USA. Protect him. And you're prepared to pay $9 million to protect somebody who stole our money. And you want to make noise over taking a chance of $7 million for medical purposes to save a country? You know how much money is spent in experiments? You know how much money was spent to control bilharzia, tuberculosis, or whatever the name is? You know how much money was spent to get medication for AIDS? And then you're going to come and try and tell me $7 million as an effort to save a nation. You're going to use that as political mileage? And we members of UWP are sort of swayed by some of these things these people come and say. You do not win an election if the policies, the strategy, the principles of the politics is not in place. And the principles of the politics is not in place coming from the Labour Party. The Labour Party has broken laws just like Trump, broken the constitution of the country. Do you remember when all lawyers got together to save one lawyer who was accused of rape? You remember? You remember that? Change the law for one man. Today, this man, chairman of CIP, has disappeared. And Labour Party still come in and say to back them up with $9 million to make the case go away. Tonight, as I leave this podium, I need the members of the United Workers' Party to take charge. The hierarchy of the party is trying. It's not every decision they make will please everybody. I am aware of members of the party not being satisfied with decisions, and as a result of that, causing distraction within ourselves. And as I've told a few members of the party, anytime there is a situation when you're not in agreement with the party, it's better that you step back than you step forward and cause more problems. And it is about time. These are the little things that we need. When you step back, you will step back forward together. This is causing some kind of disruption in different nooks and crannies of the political sphere of the country. I hear too many times little groupings, little affiliations, And I need to see more of one. One in the sense that it's not everything, as I've said before, that comes from upstairs is right or is a good decision. But let us give regard and respect and wait for what comes from the upper part, the executive or the people responsible for this election. And if we have suggestions, if we have disagreements, channel it through the proper way. I am also saying that if we must win this election, we have different chat groups. We put our views out. I am aware of a lot of people with their different opinions. But we are getting, I'm concerned about the way the membership of the UWP is getting lazy. Lazy in the sense that all our canvassing is done in chat group. The Labour Party has given us more than enough reason that I need to see UWP supporters on the streets arguing and putting it to the Labour supporters because they feel so good. They're all over the place. And we, as usual, we're just staying behind. I am asking, as I close, I am asking the membership nationally to get ready and get involved. Get involved in this upcoming fight. This election is important to St. Lucia. And it is even more important to some of the people that will go to jail because of CIP. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jean-Baptiste. And you heard for yourself, we have started the discussion on healthcare. Now, while we are here talking about healthcare, we have a government who do not care. But if you want something to be done about your healthcare, there's one solution, and that is to remove the St. Lucia Labour Party that has no plan and bring in the United Workers' Party under Alan Michael Chasney, who has a vision. And I want to remind you what we deprived ourselves of when we replaced the United Workers' Party with the SLP. We deprived ourselves of a health insurance policy that would cater for every St. Lucian to get at least $75,000 of health coverage. You would not have cause, if you have a little operation to do for $20,000, to go and have to sell bakes and fried chicken. What you deprive yourself of, you know, Alwan put it right. Not a backyard chicken coop, but a real hospital. A top-class, world-class, modern, state-of-the-art hospital with helipad and all modern facilities that we would have had in operation already today if the United Workers' Party was in office. But we make mistakes in life. The good thing is, mistakes can be corrected. The better thing is, the UWP is ready with a plan and a vision to make it better. And the best thing is, you have begun to understand that now, and we all are going to come together and return the United Workers' Party to government. Ladies and gentlemen, we saw Rush Clark, and I have a lot of respect for that young man. A man who has already begun to show that he is a true representative. He's prepared to take a stand for his people. And it doesn't matter if you have to stand alone. If your cause is just, take a stand. And we now must begin to rally behind people like Rush in the future to ensure that as we move forward, we make the government understand that what they are doing is not acceptable and we will not stand for it. In Castries, you have Castries Health Center closed, Marshall Health Center closed, Entrepot is part-time, you know. People have to go all the way to Grosley Polyclinic, and by the way, that's a polyclinic that the United Workers' Party government, when they used to close that polyclinic at 4:30, the United Workers' Party government said that's not enough. They decided, they took a policy that will be open until midnight to serve the people of Grosley. And so, I do not know what obtains in Soufrière, with your Soufrière hospital, but I'm sure there are people who know. I'm sure there are people who know. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, I will not take any more time. I will call on somebody who must know. And that person must know because that person knows something about representation. That person knows what it is to give quality representation. And I'm in a position to tell you, on the 26th of July 2021, Soufrière lost a wonderful man who gave them great representation. Again, I say, we have seen our mistake. We can correct our mistake. And, ladies and gentlemen, all I am saying to you, the time has come to right the wrong. And that is what we are going to do. And I personally asking a favor of you here in Soufrière. Let it begin in Soufrière. This man deserves his back pay. He did not get the payment for the job that he did. He deserves his back pay. And I've said it many times to Herod. I have gone through that experience, 2006, 2011. They kicked me out in 2011. By 2012, they had seen the mistake. They couldn't wait for 2016. I know you cannot wait for 2026, so I have advice for you. We are going to build up the pressure. We are going to begin to protest. We are going to take a stand so that this election is going to be before 2026. And ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for that election. We are so ready that we have already put in place your candidate for Soufrière, who will be your next district representative. And let me say no more. Let me say no more. I call to the podium now. Your next district representative, the best district representative you have ever had, the man, Herod Stanislas, who will address you now.
Many persons in Soufrière travel to St. Jude's on a daily basis. Many children in Soufrière are born at St. Jude's Hospital. And what is happening at St. Jude's today is an injustice to the people of the South, to the people of Soufrière, and to the people of St. Lucia by extension. Thank you very much, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. And let me say a pleasant good evening to all our members, our delegates in the room here tonight. Pleasant good evening to our supporters and St. Lucians who are following us in the diaspora. And a special good evening to the rest of St. Lucia, whether you are United Workers' Party, whether you are a Labour Party supporter, whether you are no supporter of any political party. Good evening, welcome to Flambeau Live. And I bring you special greetings from Sulphur City. It's a pleasure to have our political leader and the next Prime Minister of St. Lucia, the Honorable Alan Chasney, in our midst tonight. Also, our first deputy political leader, Guy Joseph, is there with us tonight. And my senatorial colleague, the Honorable Senator Dominic Fedi, is going to be joining us shortly. Brothers and sisters, we are here in Soufrière, Sulphur City, a town, a constituency, where in 2016 to 2021, this was the most talked about constituency in St. Lucia. It was the most progressive, the most transformative constituency in this country. And In 2021, the people of Soufrière decided to go another route with another representative. But in less than 3.5 years, brothers and sisters, Soufrière have regressed to the 20 years which we took it from under the Labour Party. And today, the cries of frustration, the cries of regret, the cries of anger, the cries of betrayal are all over the constituency of Soufrière-Font-Saint-Jacques. But there is only one consolation out there, brothers and sisters. And that one consolation that you hear, I get every single day, every single week, even from their own people, those who went to the polls and believed the lies, the propaganda, the deceit, is that, Mr. Herod, I cannot wait for the day to come. That is the only consolation, that I cannot wait to vote her out, to vote this government out, and to put back the proper representation that we had in 2016 to 2021, so that Soufrière can once again take its rightful place as the most transformative, the most progressive constituency in this country. Brothers and sisters, in less than 3.5 years, we have witnessed the worst representation by any parliamentary representative in Soufrière-Font-Saint-Jacques. In 3.5 years, the people of Soufrière-Font-Saint-Jacques have been subjected to only 8 days of work for the year under this parliamentary representative. 4 days of work, 4 days of step in August, and 4 days of step in December. 8 days of work for the year. That is the record of Emma Hippolyte and the St. Lucia Labour Party in Soufrière. In 3.5 years, brothers and sisters, not one job has been created by the parliamentary representative of Soufrière-Font-Saint-Jacques for the young people of Soufrière. What they have done, brothers and sisters, they have victimized the supporters of the United Workers' Party at the premier institution we have in this town, the Soufrière Foundation. In a little more than 3.5 years, they have fired almost 50 persons at the Soufrière Foundation and are slowly replacing them with their own supporters. It is so bad, brothers and sisters, that the workers at the Soufrière Foundation do not even want to wear anything that has a touch of yellow. Nothing whatsoever with yellow, because they know if they do that tomorrow, they are out of a job. And that is why this coming elections, brothers and sisters, Soufriérians, is the most important elections in our lives. It is an election where we cannot take it for granted. It is an election where we cannot sit back, relax, and think that everything is okay. It's an election where we have to come out in numbers. As Spider said earlier, to right the wrong of July 26, 2021. To get rid of the St. Lucia Labour Party, to get rid of Emma Hippolyte, and to get rid of Sam Auger and the bandwagon at the Soufrière Foundation. Brothers and sisters, when you have a parliamentary representative who has no plans, who has no vision, who is confused, who has not done anything tangible for this town, you have to ask yourself, why? What is going on? What is going on, brothers and sisters? When you have a parliamentary representative who believes, brothers and sisters, that when she goes around and off and on every 3-4 months, gives constituents a little $50 voucher, a little $100 voucher, and it is going to solve your problems. Brothers and sisters, you have to think deeply. When you have a parliamentary representative, brothers and sisters, who cannot wait at the end of the month to run to the pastoral center to carry Chris and take a few bags of rice, a few boxes of mackerel, put it in a nylon bag and pass it around and give to the people of Soufrière-Font-Saint-Jacques, trying to fool them, you have to be worried, brothers and sisters. You have to be worried. The people of Soufrière have been subjected to that sort of representation, and that is an indictment on the parliamentary representative and the Labour Party. But make no mistake, we on the platform of the United Workers' Party, we teach our people to fish, so that one day you will be able to go out there and catch as many fishes as possible to feed yourselves and your family. Brothers and sisters, we know that healthcare is a crisis in this country. A very, very serious crisis. And Soufrière is not immune to the health crisis in this country. And it is a shame, it is an embarrassment, it is a disgrace with what is happening, what is taking place in the health sector of this country. This is a government, a prime minister who said he was the most readied. He was the one who had all the answers to all of our problems. But today, brothers and sisters, it is so bad that the SLMDA, the president of the SLMDA, who represents so many professionals on that board, had to come out and say, healthcare is at its worst. That they have never seen it before like this in St. Lucia. And that was not said by any individual on the streets. It was said by the president of the St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association. And brothers and sisters of Soufrière, Fosse Jacques, St. Lucia, we have to take that very seriously. This cannot be taken as a joke. We cannot play and fool around with our health. Your health is your wealth. A healthy nation is a wealthy nation. And today we have the worst healthcare in this country. Doctors are resigning en masse. Nurses are resigning en masse. Other workers are resigning. No medication, equipment, everything is a disaster, brothers and sisters. And right here in Soufrière, just 2.5 weeks ago, brothers and sisters, we had a young man, very promising young man, young entrepreneur who was a baker. He fell ill on a Tuesday night, drove to Soufrière Hospital. He was referred to St. Jude's Hospital. He went to St. Jude's Hospital, got there in the evening. And can you imagine that this young man sat on a chair in the hallway at St. Jude's? Not for 30 minutes. He sat on a chair not for 1 hour, not for 1 hour and a half, not for 2 hours, brothers and sisters. On a chair, he would be, after he feels tired, he feels frustrated, he would sit on the floor of the hallway. Back on the chair, on the floor, back on the chair, back on the floor. Can you imagine that this young man sat on a chair for 12 hours? 12 hours. It's painful. Before he saw a doctor. Un jeune garçon, il assis 12 ans dans la chaise avant un docteur St. Jude s'est regardé pour lui. 12 hours. And when he had breathing complications, they rushed to take him off the chair and try and put him on a bed. But it was too late. He passed away. That is what is happening at St. Jude's. That is what is happening in the health sector of this country. And we, the people of Soufrière, have fallen victims to the mismanagement of this economy, to the incompetence of this prime minister, this minister of health, this parliamentary representative. Our young people, our promising young people are dying as a result of the incompetence of the St. Lucia Labour Party. And even though this young man had complications, he had underlying issues, but to sit for 12 hours on a chair without seeing a doctor, you have to blame the medical institution. And I'm not blaming the doctors, and I'm not blaming the nurses, I'm not blaming the staff at St. Jude's. These are hard-working men and women. They give it their all every single day. They want the best. They do the best that they can. But the government of the Labour Party is failing them every single day. The blame falls on the St. Lucia Labour Party, this administration. And we have every reason to be angry in Soufrière. We have every reason to remove that political veil of red or yellow in front of us. And when it is wrong, we say it's wrong. When it is right, we say it's right. And right now, it is wrong, and we have to condemn it, and we have to say enough is enough. This Labour Party have to go. Because today is him, tomorrow could be any one of us. And if we do not take a stand, if we do not stand strong on our feet, if we are not determined, many of us are going to go to St. Jude's, OKEU, which is now called OK Kill You, and sit on a chair for 12, 14, 16 hours before a doctor can attend to us. Brothers and sisters, this is wrong, this is total failure, and you hear nothing from the authorities. The people you vote for to represent you, to represent your interests, to speak on your behalf, they say nothing. Why? Because everybody is protecting the victory. That is what is going on. The victory has been protected at the expense of the lives of the people of Soufrière and Saint-Jacques, the people of St. Lucia. Brothers and sisters, we have persons in Soufrière who are now recuperating from surgery. Two of them, two ladies, who just had surgery last week. And again, they were told, when you coming up for the surgery, bring 2 rolls of surgical thread, the stitches, because they do not have it at St. Jude's. So before they went up, they had to go to Tapillon to buy 2 rolls of surgical thread for $400 to take to the hospital. So when the SLMDA tells you it is the worst that they have ever seen, you have to believe them. Because I'm sure all of us in this room here, so there are persons in here who are 70 years of age, 60-something years of age. You have never ever heard of such happening at our hospitals in St. Lucia before. Personne qui la kayo ka koute osweya, ou pe 50 l'année, 60 l'année, 80 l'année de l'âge, ou pas jamais tan papa ou grand-papa ou grand-maman ou même tan l'hôpital la pani bagay fil pour coude moun après yo faire l'opération. Et c'est ça qu'a fait cette liste à présent en bas gouvernement les bas partis. Et puis jeunes gens souffrent, c'est victime en chaise bagay là qui aller St. Jude's à présent. Brothers and sisters, this is serious. This is serious. We had a plan for healthcare, to deal with healthcare in St. Lucia, to make healthcare affordable, quality. Brothers and sisters, Spider said it earlier, we had the health insurance, which was going to be issued to all St. Lucians, pensioners, unemployed, single mothers. Everybody would have gotten a medical insurance. We were on the verge in Soufrière again. We were in Soufrière working on the Soufrière Hospital. We had a concept design. We were already in talks with a developer where we were going to build a world-class hospital in Soufrière. 30 beds, operating room, 4 ICU units, fully equipped with laboratory equipment, X-ray machines. We had a decompression chamber, so many things. A new Soufrière hospital. We had already acquired, brothers and sisters, 3 acres of land to build that new Soufrière hospital. And the reason was that the Soufrière hospital would have eased up the pressures on St. Jude's and OKEU. So persons, it would have served persons from ancillary all the way down to Choiseul or even as far as Labrie with 30 beds. We are not hearing anything about the Soufrière hospital, brothers and sisters. But on the streets, you are hearing of certain things. So it seems that the construction of the new Soufrière hospital is another secret deal. It seems that the parliamentary representative went on a second date and struck another secret deal. But the people of Soufrière wants to know what is going on with the new Soufrière hospital. We want to know whether it is going to be built on a new site. We want to know how much it is going to cost. We want to know the footprint. We want to know whether there have been approvals for the construction of the new Soufrière hospital. We want to know whether Reno Kajada was granted a direct award to build the Soufrière hospital. We want to know, because this is the same government that was against direct awards in opposition. But these days, everything is direct award. We want to know that if Reno Kajada is going to be the contractor to build a new Soufrière hospital, whether he's going to bring the Indians and the Chinese he flown in to build the St. Jude's Hospital, to build the Soufrière Hospital, and leave the young people of Palmis, of Fontbenier, of Wingsville, of Riverside, Barons Drive, Font Saint-Jacques, Monlacroix, Belfont, Chateau-Belair on the blocks, seated, doing nothing. We want to know what is the deal with the new Soufrière Hospital. What plans have been put in place for the smooth and efficient operations of this hospital? Because United Workers' Party, Alan Chasney, we had a plan, we had a vision. You cannot build a 30-bed hospital and do not make plans for the smooth operations. You need additional doctors. You need additional nurses. You need additional pharmacists, lab technologists, radiographers. What are the plans the people of Soufrière Font Saint-Jacques needs to know? Brothers and sisters, our lives are at risk, and we cannot afford to stay quiet when we have a parliamentary representative who makes secret deals. Secret deals in whose favor? Not in our favor. In their favor, to protect their victory, not to protect your lives. Brothers and sisters, we had a comprehensive plan for infrastructural development in Soufrière. Development that was going to create opportunities for the people of Soufrière, empower the people of Soufrière. Today, nothing, no answers. If today you could drive through Soufrière, for some of you who came from Castries and from the south and who probably went around, you could point your fingers on everything Soufrière that is United Workers' Party and Herod Stanislas. You can drive around the length and breadth of Soufrière, and you can point Herod's work, Herod's work, Herod's work, Herod's work, UWP's work. You cannot point your finger on one project and say that is the current parliamentary representative's work. Nothing. Brothers and sisters, we had a comprehensive plan to redevelop the Soufrière waterfront. From Barons Drive with the boardwalk all the way to the waterfront. Pedestrianize the waterfront. All the way down to the Hummingbird. What we did at the beach park, what we did on Old Trafford, what we did on the Palmis Road, all of it was part of the infrastructural development for village tourism. So when they're talking about the youth economy, brothers and sisters, we started the youth economy from 2016. Hummingbird Beach is youth economy. Old Trafford is youth economy. The infrastructural works we put in place was to build the youth economy, because one of the key components of the youth economy is to put in the infrastructure to give your people the opportunities to build on that, to empower them, brothers and sisters. We undertook the construction of the new development roads. For almost 40 years, the Labour Party kept on telling the people of Soufrière they cannot do anything about the new development roads. It's private road. We came in, and in 3 years, we were able to reconstruct, rehabilitate 60% of the roads at new development, brothers and sisters. And today, it is 3.5 years. Not 10 feet of concrete has been laid on the roads at new development, the rest of the roads. Isn't that a shame? The Esperance Diamond Road, which was done because we had the plan at infrastructure in the cabinet to resurface the Soufrière to Font Saint-Jacques Road. We said when we are resurfacing this road, rehabilitating it, it is going to create major traffic problems, major delays. So we are going to reconstruct Esperance Diamond so that persons from Fontaine-Jacques could access Esperance Diamond to and from town. Up to today, brothers and sisters, when they came in office, they stopped the drainage works. They stopped the safety guardrails, the retaining walls which had to be constructed on the Esperance Diamond Road. And the road is being undermined by the rain every single day, brothers and sisters. And to make it worse, our roads in Soufrière, Fontaine-Jacques, and the rest of St. Lucia, because we all drive around the country, have become rainforest. Grass and shrubs are taking over our roads all over the country. Just yesterday afternoon, I drove to Bouton, and I saw it, and the people spoke to me. And they told me what is worst with the Bouton Road right now. It is so bad. So much grass. You cannot see the drains. You cannot see the verges. That you now have snakes coming down from Kachime into Bouton. So when they are walking, they cannot even go on the side of the road in the grass because they do not know if there are snakes in the grass. So they have to stay on the road, putting their lives at risk. And we have a parliamentary representative who sits in the cabinet of ministers, where billions of dollars have been sold of our passport monies, and she does not have the audacity to go and cut the grass on the Bouton Road and the rest of Soufrière. And these are the people who tell you, brothers and sisters, that they care. They tell you that they care. They do not care. They do not love you. They only care about themselves. The Labour Party is all about labor. It is all about politics. The Labour Party is not about the people. And they will say and do any and everything to stay in power to protect the victory. Look at the condition of the roads at Wingsville, at Font-Bernier. Look at the condition of the roads from Etangs going to Font-Jean-Libin to Mont-Lacroix. Brothers and sisters, we are in a crisis. We are in a crisis. Brothers and sisters, we have the Soufrière Mini Stadium. A few minutes, I'm skinny. We have the Soufrière Mini Stadium. They all told the people it was cancerous. Before elections, it's cancerous. The turf is cancerous. As soon as I win, I'm going to take it off and put back grass. 3.5 years, we have the turf. Tonight, football. Just a couple of weeks ago, Juju's welcoming. Where was it? On the turf, on the Soufrière track. I just hope Juju did not catch any cancer for her sake. That shows you the hypocrisy of this Labour Party. Up to now, they cannot get the track certified. Up to a day like today, 3.5 years to get the track certified by the IAAF. We had 2 phases to complete on this mini stadium, where we had to put in the netball court, the multi-purpose court, and the 25-meter 8-lane Olympic swimming pool. Up to a day like today, no word. And to make it worse, brothers and sisters, as part of the first phase of the mini stadium project, we purchased a video board at 36 feet long by about 24 feet wide. Video board that was supposed to be placed at the bottom of the playing field, so you would get replays and so on when you had your games on the field. Election came, we were given the boot. They came in 3.5 years. Can you believe that the video board is still in a box at the old copper factory? It is still in a box at the old copper factory. And all the wiring, all the preparatory works were done just to place the video board up. 3.5 years. Brothers and sisters, they said that Herod killed cricket in Soufrière, but not knowing that Herod and the United Workers' Party are men and women of vision. We would never put a football turf or track there and do not make plans for cricketers. We went, even before that was done, we went and acquired 8 acres of land at Ruby to build a state-of-the-art cricket ground. We cleared the land. Again, election came, they came into office. Nothing. You know what they do now? All the step garbage for 8 days a year, they dump it at Ruby Cricket Ground. And right now, if you drive up or down there, there is a big sign by the St. Lucia Solid Waste Management Authority, no dumping of garbage. The fine will be $5,000. Isn't that a shame? Isn't that a disgrace on a parliamentary representative who says that she cares, who talks about youth development? And today, Solid Waste Management had to come and put in a no dumping of garbage sign on a site for a cricket ground for the young people of Soufrière. And I'm also hearing that they're saying that the site is a flood zone, so they can't do anything there. But we all know we've had so much rain, no flooding in this area. And they're also saying that they are going to build houses there for people. So the site is a flooded zone. It is not good for a cricket ground, but it is good for you to go and put people there to drown people, to kill people. You see that kind of vision? You see the plans they have? You cannot put a cricket ground there because it's a flooded zone, but you want to go and build houses to put people there, to kill people, if it gets flooded. Brothers and sisters, we are in crisis in Soufrière. We have regressed to another 20 years from where we left in 2021. And Soufriérians, just this afternoon, I was telling the political leader, our next prime minister, take a look to the back there. This is the public library for Soufrière. The building right across there, that's the public library. Closed. It was moved to a building in town, closed. It was moved to the ICT center, closed. 3.5 years, no answer for the people of Soufrière Font Saint-Jacques. We had a master plan for this area where we were going to convert this ICT center into a new modern state-of-the-art building where we would have the ICT center and the public library in one building so that all the schools in the area would access it and the rest of Soufrière. And right here, we would have built a youth center. So the Soufrière Youth and Sports Council, the Soufrière Football League, the Basketball Association, the Netball Association, all the clubs would have had their offices here. They would have had the conference room there for training, for workshops, for the seminars, etc. We would have had a dedicated youth officer in this building. But no, they have no plans. They came into office with lies, deceit, and propaganda. And they have nothing to show, nothing to do to empower you, the people of Soufrière, to create opportunities for you. But brothers and sisters, a few weeks ago, I think Ralph Gonzalez was in St. Lucia at one of the conferences, and I was told, he said to them, do not use your vote as a weapon against the Labour Party. But I'm telling you, Soufrière tonight, and St. Lucia, in 3.5 years, this government have destroyed every sector of this economy. In 3.5 years, health is at its worst. 3.5 years, we have the worst infrastructure in this country. 3.5 years, crime is out of control. 3.5 years, agriculture is dead, finished. Every sector, education, youth and sports, everything. And could you imagine they have the audacity? Where's the book Salapaka Hunt? Put dealer Nesa Lapaka in his school sports? You mean to tell me, how much does it cost a government to host school sports? Not 100,000, not 200, maybe $150,000, $200,000. So you're telling me, just a few months ago, you all came to Parliament to borrow $80 million for sports facilities, the NLA's money. You all cannot get $150,000, $200,000 from that $80 million to host school sports. We are hearing of over $1 billion US in passport sales. You all cannot get $200,000 from the CIP funds to host school sports. But we know an entire entourage of men and women went to Miami Carnival, went to launch St. Lucia Carnival in Miami. Everybody gallivanting all over the world, first class, best hotels. But you cannot get $150,000 to $200,000 to host school sports for our young men and women. Young men and women who are so excited right now because of all the juju. All the juju, fever which is in the air. They want to be like juju. They want to be another juju. You are disappointing them. You are disappointing them because of $200,000 or a little more than that. That is a shame, brothers and sisters. That is not a government that cares. This is an uncaring government, an uncaring prime minister, minister of finance. And we have to do what we have to do. So, Mr. Gonzalez, the only option that we, the people of Soufrière for Saint-Jacques, we, the people of St. Lucia, have is to use that vote as our weapon when that bell rings. So I'm calling on each and every one of us here tonight. Those of us seated at our living rooms, wherever we are listening. Unfortunately, the way our constitution is every 5 years, or when the prime minister calls it. So that vote you have, that's your power. That's your ammunition. That's your secret weapon. And when the time comes, there is going to be a lot of monies thrown at you, the people of Soufrière for Saint-Jacques. All the 2.5%, the bogus 2.5%, they are making you pay for health and security. And look at the condition of St. Jude's. Look at the condition of the Soufrière Hospital. No radiologist. People have to be going back and forth every week to operate the X-ray machine. And you are paying 2.5%. The gas, which they refuse to bring down to less than $14, the gas and diesel, that is the money they're extorting from your pockets. The cooking gas, you are paying $46 for a tank instead of about $26, $27. That is your money. The passport monies they cannot account for, that is your monies. But when the day comes, very soon, those monies will be thrown at you. Brothers and sisters, everything they come with, everything they give you, take it. It is yours. It is yours. Take it. But you know, when you walk into those polling stations, whether it is H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, or H7, you know your vote is going for your next parliamentary representative, Harold Stanislas. Good night and thank you.
There is hope, ladies and gentlemen. There is hope. You know, I came here tonight and I saw a young lady from Grosile. I said, "What are you doing here?" She said, "I'm here because there is black hat football in Soufrière." Now, you heard Harold tell you that Emma and the Labour Party said that the stadium that was developed here for you, it was too good for you, and so they couldn't say anything other than to tell you that it would cause cancer. But we know the real cancer in Soufrière is Emma Hippolyte. And I'll tell you something. Nous courir Grosile échouer Soufrière, on d'accepter. But moi vle di Emma qui te mauvais mesou. Là où le secret de to Emma, nous pas vle sav. Keep it to yourself. That's your business on your secret dates. We know you have dirty habits as far as that is concerned. Keep your secret dates to yourself. When we elect you as a parliamentary representative, it's not for you to go on secret dates with men. It is for you to go on appointments, to go to conferences, to go to negotiations, to represent the interests of the people of this country. And your secret date, you say you're not saying what was the outcome. We don't want to know what was the outcome. keep it to yourself. Bongai do sakifet la. Herod say to you, they're not doing anything for you, but very soon, when the time comes, they'll be flashing dollars all over the place, offering you money, like Herod said, take it. But I want to make sure that in return, you give them the kick up there behind. Now, the Prime Minister said something. He is the most readied Prime Minister. And it took me a long time to understand that. But, you know, all the time I was hearing it. But this week I read it for the first time. The rare deed he's talking about was spelled R-E-A-R, re. Re. R-E-A-R, re. So if you're the most rare deed, we'll put you back in the re. This is no man to lead St. Lucia. What we have done in St. Lucia is to take a man who has been a follower all of his life. And I've said it before, I'll repeat it again. Nobody can tell me anything that Philippe has ever stood for in his entire political career. You take a man who is a follower and you put him to be your leader. And you know what it is? He appointed himself Minister of National Security, and then he turned to you and he said he does not know what to do. If you have ideas, tell him. That's the kind of leader that we have in this country today. But you know where I admire the UWP? Despite all the abuses and cussing, and of course the fact that St. Lucians let themselves down by putting out the UWP, the UWP stepped up, recognizing that it is a national issue, and being concerned about the plight of our people. I almost say the Prime Minister to be, Alan Chasney, sent a list of recommendations to Philippe Pierre, who does not have a clue, as to what he could do to improve the crime situation in St. Lucia. And he is so rare, that he had the audacity to come out publicly and say that he threw it in the bin. Well, let me tell you what we are going to do. We're going to bring Alan Chasney himself with his recommendations and his team to do the job that has to be done. And at the same time, by the same token, we're going to take the waste of time, the rare deed Prime Minister, and make him follow the recommendations where he put it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce, there's a lot to say, I mean, I heard Herod talk about school sports. I just cannot avoid or ignore. So when it comes to sports, that is close to my heart. Julian Alfred this year made history. Won St. Lucia's first gold medal at the Olympics. Ladies and gentlemen, what is supposed to be Julian's biggest legacy in this country is the inspiration that she could provide to other young boys and girls in St. Lucia to aspire to be great. And the government of this country should facilitate that. What they have done is desecrate that legacy by telling the young people, boys and girls of St. Lucia, that this term we cannot afford to have sports for you. That is a disgrace, like Herod said. And this is not the direction we want to take our country. We want to build on our accomplishments. We want to build on our opportunities. We want to provide the best for our young people. So you're going to bring back a government. I'm talking to you, Soufre. You're going to bring back a government that gave you a state-of-the-art sports facility right across there. And Herod, as soon as you come back, you have to write to the IAAF, the International Amateur Athletics Federation. Bring them down here and have them certify that track so we can have international competition taking place here in Soufrière. That is honoring the legacy of Julian Alfred. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't get me started, I'm not a speaker. I want to bring to you, now you have settled the score about your representative. But we're going up the road now. From Soufrière, we're eating canneries and slurry, millet, vanna, those places. They too deserve good representation. Now it is a plague we're going through. Emma Bagafan ici. Vous avez dit moi when Girard pli mauvais toujours. I mean, when I think about it, there again, we had a young man who distinguished himself as a parliamentary representative. You know, I mean, before Fedi, Mondesi, the waste of time that he is, he at least, because he was a UWP, he delivered quite a few projects to ancillary canneries. But when Girard has come in, and in 3 years, nobody can see what he has done. As a matter of fact, nobody can see him. So we are going to bring back a representative who was transforming ancillary canneries. Ladies and gentlemen, I call on you now to give a hearty, warm welcome, because Herod Chasney, guy, you tout kay besoin compagnie en house là, and you want a complete cabinet. A man who knows, okay, who sat with Alan Chasney, and they knew that tourism would come back. And the first place in the world where tourism came back after COVID was St. Lucia, under his watch. So, help me welcome the next speaker, the deputy political leader, the government senator, sorry, I put another government senator. When you're in government, you will be a member of the House of Assembly, not the Senate. In opposition, you're an opposition senator. And you know, if Alan Chasney wasn't there, I would say the best tourism minister. You know, I want you to welcome the next parliamentary representative for ancillary canneries, Senator Dominic Fedi.
And it must be something fundamentally wrong when a minister refuses to inform the public of how many passports he has allocated for an investment to do a certain project. And it must be intolerable when doctors in our hospitals get attacked for saying the truth about the poor state of our healthcare system, which continues to fail our grandmothers and our grandfathers. All right. I'm so happy to be here, just being next door. I couldn't miss this event here tonight for the world. Herod has been my favorite minister to work with in the cabinet. You know, I meet a lot of young candidates, fellas who are just coming in, and I say to them, if you want to know how to be a good MP, just look at what Herod has done here in Soufrière. I am proud of your former rep. He's a source of inspiration. For a young man who, for the first time, represented a constituency, Herod has outperformed, what's his name, the nurse? Walter Foswa. He has outperformed Philip Dalso. You put Emma, Dalso, and Foswa together, and Herod in 5 years have toppled everything that they have done in 25 years. I remember the day we came here to launch the Soufrière Square. I saw a place that was under transformation. I remember the day when we opened the Soufrière Stadium. I saw an MP who was passionate. I remember in cabinet when Herod told us that after the Hummingbird Beach project, a project that was seen in the previous UWP administration as a way to transform the lives and to create jobs for the people of Soufrière, that it was victimized because it was a UWP idea, that the Labour Party had left it for 5 years, and it took a United Workers' Party government to come back and to rescue the Hummingbird project and to put it where it is today, tells you about the commitment and the loyalty and the perseverance of the man who will lead Soufrière in the next election, Herod Stanislas. Herod didn't do all of this on his own. Herod did this because he had a prime minister. I don't know what love affair he has with Soufrière, but I think after Micoud South, his next favorite child is right here on the west coast of Soufrière. Because you see, Alan Chasney sees your constituency as a constituency that is going to play a lead role in the economic development of St. Lucia. Alan Chasney sees Soufrière with enormous potential. And if there was one thing he would be jealous of Herod for, is him not being the rep, but Herod became the rep. But he loves this constituency. And in Alan and Herod, you have the most remarkable partnership for change in this constituency. You, the people here, need to go and tell everyone in Soufrière that the combination of Alan Chasney and Herod Stanislas is the best combo in the history that Soufrière could ever have. A man of vision, a man who loves this constituency, a man who sees the strength and the value, a man who understands the people and their aspirations, a young rep who is from this area, who will do anything for Soufrière, who is committed, who comes to the cabinet and argues and compete and say that, listen, I think that the next community center, that should go to Soufrière. He had enormous plans that, had it not been for the interruption of the election, that we would have seen even more in Soufrière. So I do believe wholeheartedly and honestly that Herod deserves to come and to finish his work that he started right here in this wonderful constituency of Soufrière. I know that if I was Emma, I would be feeling extremely disheartened, because 3.5 years have passed and she has not reached 5% of the work that Herod has been able to accomplish. 5 years will pass and she will not be able to reach 10% of the work that Herod has completed. Herod has raised the bar in Soufrière. So much so that one day in Parliament, during a budget speech, he told the Prime Minister, the then opposition leader, that look, you call yourself a 6-star general. You said that you are the best politician. You have represented Marcia and Castries East for almost 30 years. What have you done in your constituency? And Herod said to him then that, look, if I perform so miserably as you have, a man that wants to be prime minister, I will resign. What Herod was saying is that some people do it because of politics, but some people like Guy and like Alan and like Herod do it because of public service and duty to community. And that's the difference with the people on the side of the United Workers' Party. We do it because of you, the people of St. Lucia. We do it because of your development. We are not into just doing it because we want to win an election. We do it because we believe it's the right thing to do. You see, if there was a healthcare crisis and the United Workers' Party was in government, as the leader of the opposition has said to the now Prime Minister, that look, if you have a crime crisis, you have to put a command center. This has to be an urgent matter because people are dying daily from dilapidated healthcare and a crime crisis which is affecting the young people of this country. So the difference here, the people of Soufrière, the difference is leadership. The difference is vision. The difference is coming to government with a plan. And I want to say to you that unlike the Labour Party that has come to government this time without a plan, that the United Workers' Party is coming to government with a comprehensive plan to solve the healthcare crisis in this country, to solve the crime crisis in this country that's killing our young people, to solve the CIP situation. What has happened to the CIP program is an absolute scandal. It's the biggest embarrassment in the history of our country. And we, as St. Lucians, we must be proud and we must care about our passports enough to say that we are not going to allow people to sell our passports illegally and to embarrass our country and to cause all of us, when we go to foreign countries, to be looked at with scoff and scorn and suspicion by foreign immigration people. And so we must make sure that we protect our patrimony, that we protect our sovereignty, that we protect our passport. It is the most crucial symbol that we have, that symbol of our passport. I mean, we have been begging Hilaire to tell us the truth. We have been begging Philip J. Pierre to come out clean and be transparent and let us know how many passports did you agree that Galaxy can sell. We know that when the United Workers' Party was there, the agreement was 700, is what we said. 700 passports to build a project for $350 million. But Alan Chasney felt, unlike Ernest Hilaire, who's saying that the passport money does not belong to the people. That's what Labour says. Alan Chasney felt that the monies from the CIP program belong to the people of St. Lucia. And so that's why he said, look, if I am going to allow you to build a hotel which you will eventually own, you have to put some skin in the game. You cannot take the people's passport and sell the passport and then end up with a free hotel. So 700 passports was what we agreed. That represented 60% of the cost. And we said to Galaxy that you have to come up with the other 40%. This must be a true partnership in investment. We are not looking for you to come and exploit our people. And so right now we don't even know whether it is 5,000, whether it is 6,000, whether it is 7,000 or 10,000. Because you know why? They wouldn't tell us. They believe that they can get away with this. They believe that they can continue to break the law in the manner that Ernest has broken the law. Again, you don't make an excuse and say sorry because there were some delays. It wasn't just a delay. You broke the law by bringing the report late to Parliament. There is a second report that is now outstanding. And that report should have been in since September. And there has been no track of the report. And it raises very serious questions. What does Mr. Hilaire have to hide? Why are you hiding? Why are you so cagey with information about the people's money? Why are you so not transparent with bringing to us, telling us, the people of St. Lucia, what is really going on? But you know, this is not the first time that wherever Hilaire is and there is money, that there are problems. Look at what happened at West Indies Cricket Board. Does everybody remember that? When he was the CEO of the West Indies Cricket Board and all of those court cases which he lost, there were 14 court cases that were brought against the board, namely the CEO at the time, mostly for his operations of West Indies Cricket. And there were 14 cases and he lost all 14. The players won them all. What does that tell you about the man? Then we put him in the High Commission office. We said, oh, well, this guy, he has a PhD. Put him there. He's going to be a good ambassador. We woke up one morning and we heard that there's a Saudi billionaire with a very funny last name called Jafali. And most people could not even pronounce Jafali, right? Some people say Jafali, some people say Jafali. But the fact of the matter is that when Timothy Polio asked him a new spin, and he was the High Commissioner, whether he knew that the man had a diplomatic passport and how long he had the diplomatic passport, he said that he wasn't privy to that information. That turned out to be a lie, because he did know all about the Jafali deal. Because when UWP got into government, we saw all of the emails, we saw all of the correspondence. Now I want you to know that if what I'm saying is a lie, Hilaire can sue me, but I'm so confident that everything that I'm saying here today, that there is evidence to back it up, that Hilaire has been in the most controversial position ever in the history of St. Lucian politics. Then there was an account that came up at the High Commission. They call it the High Commission account And when the leader of opposition in parliament says he has a joint account with Jafali, he told the parliament that he does not have an account, not even with his ex-wife. He has never had a joint account. You all remember that? Yes. Well, he used a technicality. He said, well, if it was a joint account, it would have said Ernest Hilaire and Wahid Jafali. But that is like telling me that, you know what? I didn't have meat for breakfast. I had salaison, right? Meat and salaison is the same thing. So then they say, look, boss, you signing, Jafali signing, what you call that? Oh no, that was an account, that was not my personal thing. But when we look at the checks now, we saw that there were several checks. And this is in the Auditor General report. And Ernest, I hope that you're watching because you really need to see this. This is in the Auditor General report where it says that Hilaire had used several of these checks went back to him, signed to him, no explanation in the check stub in the Auditor General's report. How come the Auditor General does not know about a government account? How come the Auditor General does not have any explanation from you as the head of the department that is signing on the account on supposedly the government's money? We saw that monies went that was supposedly your money to pay for birthday cakes and farewell parties and all kinds of stuff happened to this. And what we continue to see with Hilaire is a continuous process of abusing whichever office that you give him. And he keeps getting away with it. So he believes now that this is all possible, that we are stupid, that we will believe his lies. That's why he comes every time with the CIP program and his supposed explanations on the CIP program. And all of his explanations are bogus explanations. He uses phrases to confuse the people of St. Lucia. He goes and he says, we approved instead of saying we had a contract with Galaxy for 6,000. And so until Hilaire is going to come out with the truth, I am going to believe Martinez. Because Martinez is the only man that has come out and said, this is what it is. While Philip J. Pierce said, I am not going to say anything because of a court case. And Hilaire has said that he needs to ask Galaxy for permission. So if you are the minister that I put to watch my business, and all you do is you have checks going to your names when you are responsible, and all you do is to cover up for the investor, then I cannot trust you with the business of the people. So Mama Flabo, we must take this matter seriously, because when we look for St. Lucia, if we leave Hilaire there, we're going to be looking for our pants, our shoes, our underwear, our t-shirt. It will all be taken from us. We must get rid of the St. Lucia Labour Party. We must get rid of Ernest Hilaire and all of these questionable things that are surrounding his stewardship. We cannot afford for this to happen. And so when the UWP gets back, we're going to do a couple things. We are going to revoke every single citizenship that was sold illegally. We're putting them on notice. Every single. We will clean up the CIP program. Now, you guys must be proud of the leader you have in the UWP. You know, I watched this CIP thing, and I said to myself, look, if Hilaire and PJP and Richard Frederick would have had anything that they could point at when the Honorable Alan Chasney was the Minister for CIP and Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, by now his name would have been on Can I Help Me? But now his name is not on Can I Rape You, because nothing exists. He ran a clean program that you, the people of the United Workers' Party, can be proud of. That's why they cannot point his name in any row. Yeah? So it tells you, Mama Flabo, Don't allow people to confuse you. Don't allow people to get you distracted. You have a good leader. You have a man who loves Soufriere and a man who loves St. Lucia. You know, I have known Alan Chasney for over 20 years. And I'm going to embarrass him a bit here today because it wasn't him who told me this. But he wanted to serve St. Lucia so badly that when Sir John called him to be Minister of Tourism, our constitution says that if you have any foreign citizenship, you have to give it up. He had a US passport as his second citizenship. And he wanted to serve us so badly that he gave that up. Who does that? Who does that? Do not allow labor to fool you, to get you confused. This is a man I watched when I worked at Sandoz, when you had the Hurricane Thomas here in Soufriere. And it was the first time I went to Fort Saint-Jacques, Herod. And this is a man who brought his boats, his father's boat. Poor man couldn't do any trips that day. And brought all of the supplies and mobilized as many things he can get to come down. Come down before the Red Cross, come down before, and to do whatever he can in his power. And I watch this man and I say, wow. So the people of Soufriere, I want to say to you not to gloat, but to say to you confidently. I mean, why do you think I put out my good name and I put it on a chopping board for Alan Chasney? It is because I trust him. It is because I know that if I give him money to watch, he's not going to steal from me. Right? But could you imagine? You have your last little kakada. And you go and you say, Richard, hold that for me, my boy. I'll take it from you later. Could you imagine what's going to happen to that kakada? So, I'm saying to you, could you imagine? You have your little money to send your kids to school. And that's your last 20 that you have. And you say, boy, you know what? I'm not sure, I have some roaches at my home. So I'm going to give Hilaire to keep that money for me. Could you imagine if you're going to get that $20 back, Mama Flabo? But what I'm saying to you is that if you give Alan Chasney $1 million, you will get $1 million back. Don't get distracted. You have the right man to lead St. Lucia. You have the man not only with the ideas and the visions and the plans and the passion, but you have a man who is going to stand by you, who's going to have your back, who's going to feel your pain. And don't stop this foolishness that they want to tell you that he doesn't understand you. Of course he understands you. He gets angry when he sees that the country is not running in your best interests. And so, Mama Flabo, what a great opportunity we have. I look at how the UWP is rebuilding, and I see the quality of candidates coming in. I see the young people. I see people that are coming forward and realizing that something fundamentally wrong is wrong with St. Lucia. And so they are leaving their jobs, some of them jobs overseas, giving up great jobs to come here and to work in St. Lucia because they understand that St. Lucia is in crisis more than ever before. And if they are doing it, we must support them. We must give them the confidence. We must march. We must knock on doors. We must canvass. We must organize our constituency branches so that on that day, the United Workers' Party will stand victorious and St. Lucia will win when we fight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Senator Fedi. And that was one of our deputy political leaders who will be returning to Parliament as the parliamentary representative for ancillary canneries. Now, before I call the next speaker, I have to say this. I am very happy that you are here with us tonight, And I want to also express my gratitude to those watching live. But remember, to continue to remain in the know, continue to follow the United Workers' Party. Right. On Monday night, that is tomorrow night, you can tune to Like It Is. I'll be your host on Hot 7 TV and Kiss FM, and of course it will also be on Facebook. On Tuesday, we have press briefing. At about 10 o'clock, you can tune in on Facebook Live to follow and to hear. On Thursday morning, you have Meet the Opposition with Nancy Charles. And on Thursday night, you have Roundtable with Laura Jean-Pierre. And of course, after that, you take a break for your Friday night or Saturday, and we come back to Flambeau Live. I do not know where the next Flambeau Live will be, but I can tell you there will be. I suspect the way that Dominic spoke here a while ago, I suspect the next Flambeau Live will be up the road somewhere in Anslurry.
Shout out by people that they are here.
Oh yes, Anslurry Canries. Nice to have you in the house. Of course. Yeah. And, you know, there is a lot that is happening. Dominic touched on it a little. There are St. Lucians of quality out there. Young people. When I talk about young people, younger than myself, who are seeing the crisis that this country is facing, and they are stepping up to the plate. So far, I know a number of them that have offered themselves to serve with the United Workers' Party to ensure that the rescue mission takes place and it takes place successfully. We, the people, have to play our part, provide them with that support, and ensure that we put St. Lucia back on a path of development and progress with Alan Michael Shastney and his army of committed St. Lucians who are the truly prepared people to rescue this country and to bring us on the path of progress. And so, when the current leader of this country, who has run this country into the ground, come and boast himself about being the most ready, and he's a six-star general. I look at the man, I listen to the man, and it is an embarrassment and a shame. And it is an insult to St. Lucians. And what I am most aggravated by is when they are talking to this gentleman who calls himself a prime minister about serious issues affecting us in this country, he laughs in our face. So, Mr. Prime Minister, what are you going to do with the spate of criminal activity and the number of homicides in this country? I mean, that's the best you can do. Mr. Prime Minister, we have a crisis with our healthcare situation. Nurses and doctors are living in droves. Administrative staffs are resigning en masse. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Well, I mean, it's a normal thing. People go to greener pastures, and he laughs at you. Now, I want you to take this seriously. He is laughing at you. He is laughing at you. We cannot have that to pass as governance for this country. And so, I rename you, sir. Philip J. Pierre, you're no six-star general. You are a six-star general. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to call on the next speaker. And you know what? After things are so bad, and you're telling me you don't have money to put on sports this term for our young people, so that the next Jews and Samis and so on can emerge. But you have spent over $3 million in pursuit of a man that is your nemesis, that you cannot deal with, that you all cannot curtail his stride and the regard that people in St. Lucia have for him. And you know what's worse? You all probably forgot that. Last year, in his New Year's address, I think it was, the Prime Minister announced again that he's going to reinitiate the Lindquist investigation. And from then, he has been paying Robert Lindquist $30,000. I don't know if it's a day, I don't know if it's a fortnight, I don't know if it's a month, but he's paying Lindquist, and I assume it is US because that's the dollars Lindquist deal with, to investigate Hiwanura International Airport. In other words, let me translate that to you. They are relentlessly after this gentleman. They're trying to get him. So they're paying Lindquist for over a year now. They can't get anything on him. They spent over $3 million. They couldn't get anything on him. They have appointed, and I want to thank this gentleman, at least he caused one job to be created in this country, the job of special prosecutor. But the gentleman is sitting at a desk. He has not made one stroke of a pen. He's just there. I want you to ask the question, when you don't have money for school sports, how is it you have money to pay someone to do nothing for all of that time? And you tell me you have special prosecutor to do what? Lindquist is being paid $30,000 for what? But let me tell you what. Jump high, jump low, you have to face the reality. Because I know, come the next general election, the next deputy political leader of the United Workers' Party will become once again the parliamentary representative for Castries Southeast. You know, they try to get rid of the, and he's not just a worker, he's also very vocal. And I tell you, UWPs, we all have to become more vocal. Because I have been talking about some things lately, and people call me and say, Spider, as a flower, I never knew UWP did all of that. It is our responsibility to let our people know what is happening. And it is your responsibility to stop listening and following propaganda and listen to the truth. So on a Thursday night, if I meet with you with your phone in your hand, it has to be in the round table. Okay? Not following that idiot who has no respect for anybody or for St. Lucians, that the Labour Party said is a criminal, that they accuse him of being involved in money laundering. And I will keep repeating it because I am repeating what they have said. They said, okay, that he was involved in money laundering, murder, and drug trafficking. But today, he sits with them in their cabinet, and he's the #1 defender. Okay? He's the #1 defender. We have no time for this gentleman. You cannot listen to someone with a record like what the Labour Party tell you he has. Listen to the round table, where you will see and hear the true situation as obtained here, and you will get the vision of the UWP as to what we are going to do to rescue St. Lucia and bring back the light. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to help me welcome the next speaker to the podium. And he is one of the deputy political leaders of this United Workers' Party. And he is going to return to Parliament as a parliamentary representative for Castries Southeast. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the right guy for the people of.
Every time we put Labour in office, they are destroying the country. Every time we made 10 strides forward on the UWP, Labour comes in, mashes up everything, and when you come back into government as a UWP, you have to start all over again. Good night, everyone. Good night, Soufre. And to all our followers on social media and on GVD television. Tonight, we are in Soufre. As Herod, my colleague, usually refers to it, Sulphur City. We are here because we are on a mission. And this mission is to save St. Lucia. St. Lucia is in serious trouble as we speak. And the worst situation that we have in this country today is that the Labour Party says that everything is fine. Now, tout moun sav, sou nan problem, tout an pa accepte that ou ni a problem, ou pa sa fanyen pou anje problem la. Est pa? So if you have a drug addict, if they keep on denying that they are not an addict, there's nothing they can do to rehabilitate themselves. Every time you speak to the government, whether the Prime Minister, whoever it is, their response is, that's nothing new. That's not something that has never happened before. So, the Prime Minister always, I don't know. And most recently, when they asked him about the resignation of Dr. Charles, his most recent response was, what can I do? Maybe Richard should tell him how he can help him. Because if he's asking us, what can he do? But Richard's program is, can I help you? Then maybe Richard needs to help Philip to figure out what to do. Now, today, we are in the 4th year of the St. Lucia Labour Party. If UWP was in office today, we would not have the health crisis that we have in St. Lucia today. And let me show you a simple equation. St. Jude would have been completed and we would have had over 120 beds at the St. Jude Hospital. Now listen to me, I want you to follow very closely what I'm telling you. Because Marvin is here pour dire l'histoire. Labour Party qui ka di moun l'histoire. We are talking about the serious things that confront the people of St. Lucia. And as I am in Soufrière, my mind goes back, way back, to the time when this lady who was giving birth on the steps of the hospital in Soufrière, and she passed. You know, the Labour Party, they've lost their humanity. There's nothing about them that shows any level of sympathy or empathy. They have become, ou sav le du che moun wed. Anye pa move yo. Nothing is moving this Labour Party. There's no way any man in his right frame of mind cannot be concerned about the situations that exist in healthcare in St. Lucia today. When you have 40 patients in the waiting area, in the corridors, and my heart went out when my colleague Herod spoke about what happened to this young man. Let me tell you, all of us have experienced it. A certain level of comfort is most necessary when somebody is sick. Lau pa malad, you can endure more things. You can sit, you can lie down, you can do anything you want. When you are sick, you want to be in the most comfortable position just to bring a measure of relief. How can we have a government today who are not hearing the cries and the pleas of the people of St. Lucia, saying that, look here, people are spending 2 days in the corridors at OKEU Hospital awaiting a bed. People on stretchers for an extended period of time. And the government says everything is all right. You know, and let me tell you, every single person in St. Lucia who put a cross for the St. Lucia Labour Party, you have blood on your hands tonight. All the people who have died as a result of the negligence of this government, those of you who helped to put them there, you are guilty also. Like Pilate, they can wash their hands, but their hearts are not clean. It is wickedness beyond imagination. We had made all the arrangements for a brand new hospital in Soufrière. Designs, the land acquired. If Prime Minister Alan Chasney was re-elected, we would have had a completed hospital in Soufrière with 30 beds. So the people who have to go to OKEU from Soufrière and fill in the corridors, they would have been able to be in good hospital care right here in Soufrière. If UWP was in office, the St. Jude Hospital would have been completed and you would have had an international hospital operating upstairs the St. Jude Hospital. So if you got a heart attack, you would not have to go to Matnik for them to put a stent in your heart to open so that the blood could flow. That would have been done right there at St. Jude Hospital. Can you imagine? Today, St. Lucians have to go to St. Vincent for health care. Monsieur, nous tomber bas Saint-Lucie Hordia. You know, it is so sad. We started a hospital at Dennery, and let me tell you, nothing Labour Party does is good. Mokowe yon ba Labour fe ki bon. Le nou atwa gouvernement. Herod is there. He was in the Ministry of Planning. We got a set of plans for the Dennery Hospital that was designed by the previous Labour Party government. We didn't stop the project. We didn't say we're not doing the project because Labour drew the plans. We said we are proceeding with building the hospital in Dennery. We did the groundbreaking ceremony. We had the money from the loan we got from the World Bank. A contractor was selected and we started the project. The consultant on the project came to me and said, Minister, I can make maybe close to $1 million on this project as the consultant. But I want to tell you something. If you continue with this project, you will have a Saint-Joly on your name. And I didn't understand. I tell him, a Saint-Joly? He said yes, because it's in Bois-Joli we were doing the new hospital. So he told me the same disaster that happened at St. Jude would happen in this hospital. So he asked us to go and redesign the hospital. The contractor, the architect labor, had engaged to design the hospital. You know who he was? He was a civil works engineer. So he designed the hospital. Nothing was making sense. So we had to ask him to explain. We went to the Ministry of Health. That one tell you, well, I wasn't there when that happened. Is somebody else that was there? He asked us over $300,000 just to explain what he drew for us. It was costing us cheaper to go back and redesign a new hospital for Dennery than it was costing to get that person who had the contract on the labor to explain the design for us. Yes, and I heard that's the same person they have doing the design for St. Jude. So you know what? We engaged a new person, a new design was done for the Dennery Hospital. We have not heard a word in 3.5 years of labor. So if you had kept the UWP in office, you would have had Dennery Hospital completed. You would have had Soufrière Hospital completed. And you would have had a brand new state-of-the-art St. Jude Hospital completed. We could never have that healthcare crisis that we have in St. Lucia today. But you see, when we make bad choices, now Fedi mo pa vote by Labour. Même si ou pas vote by Labour, ou pas te try convince Nebao to vote by Herod. Because sometimes we think is the rep that we putting out. Because mahena contract. Because sa mwete vle a, I pa fet manye mwete vle. But today, all of us are paying the price. You left a young man like Herod. And after Grozile had rejected him, hot vin me asu dohot, ek hot expect muhen bobay asu fuye. A reject from Grozile is who y'all put in charge of business in Soufrière. And y'all took out a progressive young man who had a vision for Soufrière. I don't care who didn't get a job. Life was better under Herod Stanislas and the United Workers' Party. And that is what we need to go back to. You know, there's a popular saying, half a loaf is better than no bread. You see, half a loaf is better than no bread when that's the only thing that's available. But when there were 4 loaves, how can half a loaf be better than 4 loaves? You may be asking, what are you saying? Under Alan Chasney, $1 could buy 4 loaves. On the Labour Party is half a loaf you get in because they pay $1 again about Labour Party. They pay. Now, I know that life was better under Alan Chasney and the United Workers' Party. So I ain't settling for half a loaf. But kat pay moi. Ek a baflabo se layon ou sa mahe 4 pain. Ou pa sa mahe half a pain about labor. So, when we talk about the healthcare crisis, you know, people, we need to understand, you know, according to me slavay, according to me souffre. We like to suffer. We like to do things that hurt us. Can you imagine today, people can't even wear yellow? C'est ça hote vle? When flabo in office, ou sa me rouge, ou sa me jaune, ou sa me vert, personne pa abete ou. Today, people have to hide to wear yellow. Because hot pair Richard Frederick, ek hot pair Labour Party. Now I have news for them. And I want to put Stevenson King on notice. Bright and early. There is an international code for driving and for signs and paintings. And these signs and paintings are supposed to be yellow and black. and white. All of a sudden, I see bridge railings, I see everything in red and white. Red is not reflective. Okay? So we have broken the international code. And I know if anybody and if any of you get into an accident in the night and the sign is painted in red and white, you can sue the government of St. Lucia because they have broken the international code. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that a country that is supposed to abide by international laws and international treaties, and I know what is going on. Can you imagine the minister responsible for infrastructure saying that he has to speak to another minister that's doing that because as Sepalik in charge? People, our democracy is on the fret in this country. And if you all want to take it lightly, you all can take it lightly. But I want you all to know, I want all St. Lucians, those of you at your homes who feel that you are not affected, we are all affected. And as far as I am concerned, Labour Party is a bigger criminal than all the criminals in St. Lucia. They are responsible for more deaths than the criminals themselves. What do I mean by this? You know how many people die at our hospitals because of inadequate, not the staff, you know, but basic necessities, basic things. My brother used to take dialysis at the hospital. And as far as I know, every single person who was on the unit together with him have passed. If I did not get him out of St. Lucia, he would have been one of the casualties also. And he is doing very well after 5 years. And those who came after him have died. Why? And you know what? What is the saddest part? Because, not India for sure. Let me tell you, the public relations officer of the Labour Party, here's what she says. And that is why I cannot wait for us to get back into government. You know why? We have to set the record straight. And I intend to file a case against Musa as Minister of Health in St. Lucia for the deteriorating health situation in St. Lucia and all those who support him. Here's what the PRO of the Labour Party says. Am I flustered? Am I worried? Not a peck. Just know that I know you both get paid. I repeat, Moses Musa Jean-Baptiste is doing a good job as Minister of Health. And she repeats, a damn good job. Now, if the Labour Party says that Musa is doing a good job, which means they have no intentions of fixing the health crisis that we have in this country. Okay? So you expect it will get better? You expect you'll get Panadol? You expect you'll get Fred? You expect you'll get bandages? Now we're focusing on healthcare. Education is worse, you know. Can you imagine how bad things are in this country? Now, freedom is what you have under the United Workers' Party. United Workers' Party don't hold you to ransom to vote for them. I remember after the storm, Thomas, I came to Soufrière and I saw trucks working and they had the Labour Party sticker on them. And I smiled. I smiled. Because we respect the democratic right of people to support whichever party they want to. And no one has the right to deny you to support a political party and say because you support that party, you're not supposed to live in this country. No. We have to respect that. Now I came down the road and I am concerned. How can you take out that amount of surface on the road and you have not prepared it for you to repave it? Who is supervising these works? Huh? Utie whole by Shime from Aslawe Puive presque Aslavedi Ekupo pavillon teacher. You know, I want us to understand. Pierre went to New York City and he said that they did an audit report on the $7 million that the United Workers' Party paid for vaccines. And he said when he came back, he would ask cabinet for permission to release the report. He release report la. You know why they can't release the report? Because the hands of Alan Chasney is clean. They can't find nothing he did that was wrong. But Mr. Philip J. Pierre, I have news for you. There is a $7 million that was paid between 2012 and 2016 to General Electric, $5,848,000, and Biomedical International Corporation, BIC, $1,132,000. Round it off, $7 million. Ihan 12 l'année la sa api. Nous pohen yo choy equipment pour l'argent ça. The labor rights who want to question what Alan Chasney did to save the lives of St. Lucians. And why didn't Pierre say how much of the money that they have received? And why didn't he say that the owner or the person the contract was signed with has property in St. Lucia that is worth in excess of $10 million. That is more than enough to cover the few dollars that he's owing St. Lucia. You see, because Alan Chasney does not make a bad deal.
That's right.
Alan Chasney does not make secret deals.
That's right.
Jean Soufouye, Emale a sou boat ridely, e ki fe secret deal la bay hot. What do you all know about it?
Nothing.
So why haven't the people of Soufrière demonstrated in front of Emma's office to find out what deal did she make with GPH on your behalf? You see, that is what we need to understand. We don't know if she sold the pot in Soufrière. We don't know what she did. What I know they did, and the Soufrière Foundation, y'all believe that everything is okay. But when GPH begin to operate there, l'argent ka collect a sous doc là pour aller Soufrière Foundation na, moi vle sav ki kote l'argent sa ka yale. So hot feel Herod pate ka fe ase. So let GPH in charge doc là. Chaque dollar US là qui ka paye, c'est pas un foundation qui vini, c'est un coffre GPH qui ka aller. So, I want you all to understand. Look here. This is not about UWP and SLP, you know. This is about the future of St. Lucia. This is about our survival. That is what we are talking about. And that is why I'm calling on St. Lucians. Let us do the right thing for our country. If you're not happy with Flambeau, you don't have to vote for Flambeau. If you're satisfied with what Labour is doing, continue to vote for them. I'm not afraid of this. What I want to know is that my people will stand to do what is right. How can the government find $250,000 to give to Kailash, and you telling the entire population of school students in this country you can't find $100,000 to host school sports? And you telling me parents who have bought PE uniforms, bought sneakers for your children, they have been cut off from doing their lessons to practice for sports. And you are just accepting that there's no sports for this year? And our parents have not marched to the schoolyard and demonstrated? So l'argent dépensé pour gagner PE uniform là, pour gagner sneaker, pour yo pas teach yo lesson, but yo ta su feel la Catherine. And today, they cannot even take part in the sports. You are telling me. Now let me tell you, they lie about Julian Alfred. Because it's not because of what they did. It's not because of what they did for her that they can have school sports. Let me tell you why they cannot have school sports. Because the money from the National Lotteries Authority, that is what is used to support sporting programs, is now going to pay the loan that they took to fix the thing for World Cup cricket. So, they borrowed $80 million. And the interest on it is $70 million. So if you add 70 and 80, that is $150 million to pay back. The $800,000 every month from the National Lottery is going to pay the loan. So la pan l'argent pour support pièce sporting program. And you know what they l'argent? The Labour Party have sold the money of this country. So 150 million in 15 years. That's 10 million. 12 eighths is 96. That's 9,600,000 a year for 15 years. So, les hot kwe les nou vin nan gouvernement nou kay sa just manger tout bay. Tout bay pa just manger kon. Because l'argent pa là for the next 15 years. And how do we know how many things? We were making over every passenger that came in, we were making $6.50 on every cruise ship passenger. The deal that they signed with GPH, we will make $1 on every passenger. And GPH will make $5.50. And we had already negotiated to go up to $11. St. Lucia would be getting $11 on every cruise ship passenger. You know what is happening now? We are going to get $1. GPH pour faire because you pas dépenser des sous l'argent yo. Tout passager qui ka vini from depuis jou yo hand over pot la ba yo, say yo ki ka collect l'argent. So they will take our same money and come and fix the pot. And they will use it for 40 years. And the lifespan of what they're doing is 40 years. So as soon as the 40 years is over, yo ka banouy tout kwaze, ek poche yo ple, ek yo ka ale. Philippe J.P.N. pou pren l'argent. No Prime Minister. Mwen yo vle pren l'argent. Mwen ha di yo ache, si la oblige henni. I pa disparaître. There's so much to be said, but I will close. You know, when we look at what the Labour Party has done to this country, I want you to know, only a crazy person will say that Musa is doing a good job in health. I have the letters, and on the previous Sunday Live, and I've dealt with it. But the letter from the Medical and Dental Association, I have it here, you know. The letter says that healthcare is the worst it has ever been in the history of St. Lucia. But the Labour Party tell you Musa is doing a good job. Now, Monsieur Richard, you want to go after Rush. But Rush is the boss. Richard, you crying already. You call him a boy. Today you concerned about where people are born. All the time you are accusing Alan Chasney of being born in Matnik and this and that. You just do perfect castri, se mi kou fet. Ou apawe pou fou. Ou ka hele. O diavle moun savuten teso. O diavle moun savuten teso. Wilton Ziad. Rush Clark is a young man. A candidate of the United Workers' Party. And he is rocking Richard in Castries Central. I can tell you, Labour Party had a poll, and the poll shows that they have 8 seats. Now things will only get worse for them. So si on 8, kimon kin lot 9 na. Si on 8, kimon kin lot 9 na. Okay. So some Labour have election. So now the last thing I will tell you tonight. They come and tell you, you know they said unemployment rate is down to 11%. You know why they're telling you these lies? So that Reno can bring in all his workers from outside to say they don't have workers in St. Lucia. When UWP was building St. Jude Hospital, we had no foreign workers working on St. Jude. We brought in a team of about 7 people from Canada. They trained our people to build the panels. We did not even allow them to bring in their workers to build the panels for St. Jude. Ek yo do yo ka travay aso l'hôpital la yo menti. Ou sav ki les l'hôpital yo ka travay aso, même sa yo kouye bret la. The same one they tell you that was the box. That is where they are working. And they're trying to move 2 units inside there before the election. The hospital that Alan Michael Chasney was building. Okay? So, ou sav sa Labour Party fek loi? Yo di si ni 6 semaines ou ka ache pour travail et ku po hen travail, yo ka tiye wa sou list la. So you no longer unemployed, you just not looking for work. So you no longer part of the workforce. So they have moved over 3,000 people from the workforce in order to say that the unemployment rate is 11%. And to make matters worse, you know what they did most recently? They took out après la vie au temps oued Saint-Lucie. Yo tie 700 moun a sous poverty list la. 700 people. The United Workers' Party in the crisis under Spider and Allen had added 1,000 people to the paupers list to give them a little something to survive. Labour Party in one shot has taken out 700 people from the list. My people, the only hope for St. Lucia is Alan Chasney and the United Workers' Party. I thank. Every time we put Labour in office, they are destroying the country. Every time we made 10 strides forward on the UWP, Labour comes in, mashes up everything, and when you come back into government as a UWP, you have to start all over again.
Yes. Non, avant moi continuer, moi ni pour répéter ça, moi juste là. En monsieur, en audience là dit comme ça. Nous tenons cette ici en fifth gear. Nous mettons les bas. Vous mettez des descendants fourth. Vous mettez des descendants third. Vous mettez des second actuellement en reverse. Merci, ça va blague. You know, Guy mentioned a few things there, and honestly, I just had to shake my head. But Guy, où ça m'a répété ça? Guy dit ou comme ça? En bas, Alan Chasney as Prime Minister, we added 1,000 St. Lucians to the paupers list.
And that was all Labour, it was mixed.
And that was during COVID. Today, when your economy is back to normal, and unemployment is 11%, you're removing 700 people from the paupers list, putting people first. So, Guy had one said this year. But Guy di Richard Haka Haley, parce que il dit rush Haka rush li. So, Rush di comme ça, I am from the city and I grew up in the city. Richard Levivashi. So Richard di comme ça, I grew up in the graveyard. And I had cold pot, I didn't have fridge, I didn't have dry. Bon, c'est beaucoup de monde qui a parlé. He grew up in the graveyard. Which graveyard? Lania graveyard, Monry Pogote Richard just finished spend $1 million. $1 million. I suspect c'est like a parle about. So actuellement, Rush fait changer. Quand il grew up. So he can invest in the graveyard sala. He got to spend over $1 million on the graveyard Monry Poa. Et puis c'est là nous gâté oui. Et là nous gâté oui. But you know, people talking about, I mean, before we close the show with our last speaker, I'm in Soufrière. I'm from Grosily. When I look at what Herod was doing, now I don't want you all to think I was jealous of the man, you know. But I started thinking to myself, but just now, Soufrière is going to surpass Rodney Bay. The kind of development I saw happening in Soufrière, it was going to, but I was not the only one concerned. Lay back on see the way, see Herod fait Soufrière, pre-develop a Rodney Bay. Sakai fait you got a movie. Because after over 25 years of representation, and they did not take Soufrière forward 1 inch, and for Herod to come and transform Soufrière like he did, they had a problem. But you know what, Soufrière? You have seen the light. I don't have to talk about Herod's track record. It's there to show. His performance speaks for itself. His performance speaks for itself. And so, a mistake was made, the mistake will be corrected. Let us right the wrong. And so you're going to return Herod as your parliamentary representative. In ancillary countries, we saw the work that Dominic Fedi did, and the work he did as Minister of Tourism. So, The time is coming. Let us right the wrong. Guy Joseph, when we saw all the work that he did in his constituency, but when you're a farmer constituency, guys, almost had to have I give it. I mean, let us right the wrong by bringing back Guy Joseph as a parliamentary representative. And we know he's a hard-working minister as well. We know he's a hard-working minister. So now, stop listening to Labour Party propaganda. I'm proud to say that tonight, apart from you here present, we have a full hall. We had over 700 viewers live on Flabo Live. And I'm happy for that. But we need to have more. The rest of us who are not doing so, if you cannot make it here, have your device, your phone, your tablet, whatever you have, and tune to Flabo Live, tune to News Brief, tune to Meet the Opposition, tune to Like It Is, tune to Roundtable. And on Thursday night, the only program we have going is Roundtable. So I want everybody to tune to Roundtable. Stop giving people figures when your party can do with it, and the information you will be getting will be in your benefit. So, ladies and gentlemen, talking about righting the wrong. We heard of a lot of things that Flabo would have done under the leadership of Alan Michael Chasney that we were robbed of. Now, moi te won Jean Gozile en 2011. Moi viens 2016 nek moi diot, moi te di zot ça. Pas fait moi venir ici pour diot, moi te di zot ça. Pas quitter Charles Kenou. Labour Party vini. Et qui do, we shall do this, we shall do that. Anton Flambeau was doing this and was doing that. Don't go for empty promises. Emma ou était 5 ans gos li pa fan rien. Ou quoi, il a vinn souffrir avec fan bay. Après 3 ans et demi ou jawe pour quoi. They are not performers. We are the workers. And I'm proud to stand on a UWP platform and endorse the team of the United Workers' Party. Now, Gaidi pour la mouchwe, les bani 8, ek Flabo nef. Ça c'est parce que nous pas la ces candidats. When you see we begin to present the rest of our candidates, bal fini, vélo en sac. And we're going for a record in this election. 17-0. Because nous pouvons presenter 9 candidates. We have presented 7 candidates. And there are 2 seats we winning already without candidates. So can you imagine? Well, CIP, nous avons un problème là. Parce que nous avons une question à la hall. So nous même pas ça même hen yo. Nous voyons juste l'Amérique pour demander une question. So Dubai. So ladies and gentlemen, I am very pleased with what I'm seeing. I'm very pleased with what I'm hearing. I want to remind you to follow the UWP. Tomorrow night, we have Like It Is. Tuesday, news brief. News briefing on Tuesday morning at 10. Thursday morning at 9, Meet the Opposition with Nancy. Thursday night at 8:30, Roundtable with Laura Jean-Pierre. And then on Sunday, we go into Dominic Fedi for the next Flabo Live. All right? And so, ladies and gentlemen, the Flabo is there. Yes, sir?
Yes, Mr. It's wise to remind me, fellas. Recently, I heard the upcoming Prime Minister, our Prime Minister, Mr. Alan Chasney, debunked him on that money thing in the competition, where he utilized his own money to bring in gold and sort of things. These are the sort of stuff we need out.
Okay.
There was that $2,000 for 90 student up in England. He came out and he debunked that. That is the sort of stuff we need.
Okay.
Something fellas and put them right back.
Okay. So Coburn is spider and see how to take note. All right, we need to debunk these things. You know, I'm talking about the Sufre Foundation. Guy spoke about how much money we're making in castries. $11 we would have been making. Whereas right now with labor deal with GPH, we're going to be making $1. Now, Soufre, we don't even know where we stand. Because don't forget, it's a secret deal. Soufre Foundation used to make over $350,000 a year. Let GPH take over. You have about 25 workers employed there for now. I wonder if they know where they stand. Because Herod, as your rep, will want those workers to support him. He'll make sure they have their job, he'll secure their job. GPH don't give a damn about anybody here. They have no concern about anybody here. Don't be surprised if they bring people here to work for them. And these are the things we have to protect. These are the things we have to safeguard against. And we have to bear those things in mind. With the UWP, you are safer, you are better, and you have a future. Let us right the wrong. So talking about righting the wrong. Ladies and gentlemen.
Now remember, the same Labour Party convinced everybody that Alan Chasney and United Workers' Party did away with the distress fund. You've heard that over and over and over again. And we said we just didn't call it a distress fund. It was called a contingency fund. And it was much bigger than just the $500,000. But see, that's the half-truth. And nobody wants to take the time and say, okay, well, I know, Alan, why would United Workers' Party do that? Because we wanted to make the fund bigger. And there was a special fund for healthcare. And United Workers' Party, I'm proud of this, we're spending approximately $8 million a year to help support people in need.
Rep for Ancillary, I gave you a rep for Castries East, and I gave you your next district rep, Herod Stanislas. But you know, every team needs a good captain. Without Clive Lloyd, West Indies don't be back. Every team, unfortunately in cricket, with age, you can come back. Fortunately in politics, we can go back. And so, ladies and gentlemen, to keep that team together, to guide that team through the hardships, because don't think it will be easy, to deal with the crises that we face in St. Lucia, to get back on the path of progress and development, I want to let you know that we are going to right the wrong. And the right Prime Minister for St. Lucia is none other than Alan Michael Chasney, the leader of the United Workers' Party, who will be leading us back to victory. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. This has been a long evening. And if you listen to what was being said tonight, you would all have to be concerned. Because if you were not concerned before you came here tonight, in seeing what is going on in St. Lucia, you heard some information tonight to know that St. Lucia is heading in the wrong direction. I can speak to you tonight, especially to you from Soufrière and Francis Jacques. The last election, what was it said? It said a vote for Herod is a vote for Chasney. And too many people believed, even though you had 5 years to see it for yourself, there was something wrong with that. The same Chasney who came here, and I was not elected by the people of Soufrière Francis Jacques. I wanted to be elected. And when Hurricane Thomas came, I didn't back down. That's when I got to work. People up in Mini and Dewash that could not make their way down. The person that would come here every day, after being the Minister of Tourism during the morning, I found myself here every afternoon. And you all know what the truth was. You couldn't drive to Fonsejac. You had to walk. And so every day I came here. That's what I did. When I went up and I saw that people were living at the church and there was not enough space, I went to the airport and I hijacked the supplies and took tents and brought water equipment so that people could go to the river and pump the water to clean the water for themselves. I didn't sit here and make an excuse to tell you what. I couldn't find it. I couldn't get it. It's coming soon. I led by example. And any other person wanting to be a politician in this constituency, what I just did for Thomas, I could have done nothing else. But I wasn't satisfied. All the young people who were working and after work could not take a sweat, I made sure there was lights in the playing field for them. That's right after Thomas, you know. All the people from Soufrière, when a weekend would come, where y'all were going to bathe? The same Hummingbird Beach, where the same drain was coming down and dumping the dirty water right there for y'all? Where did y'all go to the bathroom when y'all went to the beach? Y'all forget? Nowhere. All the Soufriérians who had little villas or who had a guest house, where were their tourists going to go? When they would go up to Sugar Beach, in those days it was called Jealousy, and they would not let the other people go to the beach. I said, no more, we're going to make a beach that's better than what they had there. That's what we were doing. That's what we did. You all had a bridge. You all forget? Every day there's a fight. Am I right? Yes. Every day there was a fight. People are fighting about whose turn it was to cross. Did I use Thomas as an excuse not to build the bridge?
Make it happen.
We went to build the bridge. And I remember the day we broke it down. What's the name of my friend that had a little bar? Archie. I knew we were in trouble. We went to break down the bridge. And I went back by Archie, and I see Archie putting water in all kind of pots and pans and everything. I said, Archie, what you doing? So I holding up water. I said, for what? He said, because they broke down the bridge. And there'll be no water. Because that's what the Labour Party people told him. Not to know that we had planned to break down the bridge over 8 months before that. We built a pedestrian walkway. We paved the road all the way around. We moved all the electricity and the water. But we still believed, Labour, that there was something wrong. As if breaking down the bridge was something wrong. Okay? That's right. And I remember then, after I lost, the United Workers' Party lost the election. And they decided they were going to come and open the bridge. I was in Choiseul by accident. And they called me and I came here. And all of y'all came out with me. Because you know what? By that time you knew right was right and wrong was wrong. And when they were getting scared because they saw so many people there, they called all the fellas from Quenlance. Right? And they came up there and the fella said, what's going on? What's going on? They said, oh, they're trying to open up the bridge and they didn't open up, they didn't invite Chasney. They said, but that's Chasney's bridge. And they walked back home. Even they knew what was right. People in Diamond who could not get water and could not understand that the water system was right there in their backyard. And for years, they couldn't get it. We put it. That's after Thomas, huh? That's after Thomas. And that's why when we ran for 2016 and Labour did nothing, and yet they left the Hummingbird Beach project the same way they found it. They did nothing for you all for the 5 years. Nothing. And you bring a young man in, Herod Stanislaus, to finish the job and to put his own touch on it. So he said, Mr. Chasney, I like the lights, but the field is not complete. We want to have a football field and a track. I say, Herod, I like your idea. Let's do that. Let's put on better lights than they were there before. Let us finish the Hummingbird Beach project. Let's go down to Old Trafford. And when I saw the bus stop that he put there, who in Soufriere could not be proud? Huh? For the first time, you had a party that was making you all go, I'm from Soufriere. When we saw the square, I said, that's not just a square for Soufriere. That is a square for St. Lucia. You can't just put concrete. It's not about just to say you have a square. It must represent the freedom fighters of Soufriere and Fonce-Jacques from Forge Libre.
I was a contractor. Up till now, the fellas been trying to get paid.
Wow. But when I went down there and stopped it, it wasn't to stop it to say to stop it because it was labor. I stopped it because it wasn't pas bon. Okay? And we fixed it. And the one that really touched me was the roads at New Development. For years, every year, every time there's an election, the people in Palmise and New Development, they're talking about their roads, fix their roads, fix their roads. And every person who's running says, yes, yes, I'm going to fix the roads. And the moment that they became elected, they come and tell you, oh, that's private land. The government can't fix it. If I'm saying something wrong, tell me, you know. And I said, enough is enough. Herod, I will back you and make sure we can get those roads and sidewalks done in New Development. And so it was done. But what concerns me is the same thing that concerned me the first time I came to Soufriere. I had a song written, Time to Believe. Is it that people in Soufriere and Fonce-Jacques felt that they had come as far as they could go? And there was nothing else for Flabo to do? Well, but I want y'all to know there's so much more work to be done. I'm reminiscing. The factory, they told me, could never reopen again. Y'all forget? That's after Thomas again. And I brought people here, and we reopened the factory. As moment we lost the election in 2011, they closed the factory back down again. But I'm telling you, the factory may not have a future in producing copra, but the factory has a future in producing jobs and opportunities for the people in Soufriere Fonce-Jacques. When Emma said to you that a vote for Herod was a vote for Chasney, I want to ask you all a question. Did you all know that when you all had a vote for Emma, that it was a vote for Saint-Boger? Did she tell you that? Did she tell you that? Did she tell you that a vote for Emma was a vote for victimization? Did she tell you all that? Did she tell you a vote for Emma was a vote for comrades? And did she tell you that when you have a vote for Emma, that you are voting for secrets? You see, with Labour, don't listen to what they say about Flabo. Listen to the things they don't say about themselves. That's why the saying is there. Whenever Labour is in government, the people of St. Lucia suffer from Labour pains. They cannot deliver. They have no vision for where we're going. So I want to say that our country is in a position it has never been in the history of St. Lucia. And healthcare is in crisis. And I want you to really, hopefully, appreciate what I'm saying. There's 60,000 people that live in Castries Basin. Castries North, Castries East, Castries Central, Castries South. Castries East, Prime Minister. Castries South, Deputy Prime Minister. Castries North, Senior Minister and a former Prime Minister. And Castries Central is a man who wants to be Prime Minister. Okay? So 60, and they represent 60,000 people. The healthcare facility in Leclerc, Pablo. Mash up. The one on Castries, on the chaussee, close. The one in Marsha, close. The one in Entrepot, part-time. Okay, part-time. Ciceron, part-time. So you're telling me that 60,000 people now have to depend on OKEU for their basic health needs. 60,000 people. And OKEU is supposed to be the primary hospital for all of St. Lucia. And meanwhile, doctors have left, nurses have left, he says, to greener pastures. But I would say to you, they've left because they cannot deliver to the people of St. Lucia what they've given their oath to do. No doctor or nurse can remain in a situation in where there's not medication, there's not proper operating equipment, and they cannot deliver to the people. So when they bring you there, what are they going to tell you? They can't stay there. So the hospital cannot function as a hospital, yet 60,000 people are depending on that hospital for basic health care. And the Prime Minister has the audacity to tell you, oh, I spent $15 million. He lied. The $15 million was to pay the debt. The day the money arrived at the hospital, the money was gone. The hospital has over $75 million in debt. He's not telling you that. And you want to bring a man called Short Pants, a Calypsonian, to be the CEO of OKEU? And we are going to accept that? But you as a Flabo, how can you have a man that was a former Minister of Health for Labour Party now being the CEO? I am the leader of the opposition. I would be scared to go to the hospital. How you can do that? How you can mix politics in basic requirements of healthcare? And you see nothing wrong with that. You want to go and say, I stand by my man. The same way you stand by Richard Frederick. The same way you stand by Ernest Hilaire. The same way you stand by Joachim Henry. All of them. Yes, when McLeod went to Washington, D.C., you were more concerned about protecting McLeod than finding the money that was lost for St. Lucia. I say this to all of us tonight because enough is enough. Enough is enough. I wrote a letter to the Prime Minister. I said to the Prime Minister, we the people are making a demand. The price of oil has dropped. We are demanding, not asking, we are demanding that you drop the price below $14 a gallon. Are you with me? You all agree? We said that the 2.5% levy, health and security levy, that you drop for the businessman to do, we come November 1st, we expect you to drop the 2.5% levy for all the St. Lucians. We said to you, where's the money? Why would you give Galaxy $1.2 billion? And you've now said that Galaxy has already received approval for $380 million US. If you go to the site, you can't find $20 million US worth of work at the site. How much money is in the escrow account? Basic question. We want the answer to that question. We want to know how much money have you given to Galaxy to pay them for the infrastructure work they have not done. Because we don't know where it is. We want to know how many houses you're going to build at Rock Hall. How much are the houses going to cost? Who is going to get the houses? We want to know. And now we're saying to you, stop trying to fool the people. It is not that the people have left to go to greener pastures. They've left because pa bon. And it is now time for you to put the priority on healthcare, fix up OKEU, fix up immediately all of the healthcare facilities, and make health a priority. We asked them to do that by November 1st. November 1st has come and gone. But we, the people, our voices has not been heard yet. I told you I will stand with you and I will walk with you. I will walk in front if you want me to walk. But over the next couple of weeks, the orange protest will start. I'm asking all of the people of the Flabo party, all the Flabo supporters, to take the lead to start the orange protest. What I want to see is we've bought cloth. I want to see every car in St. Lucia with our orange ribbon on the car. I want to see the bus drivers who have not seen the bus fare, the gas prices come down, and they have not fixed up the roads. I want to see them put the orange ribbons on there. Orange is the color for protest, to say the people have had enough. I want to know that we are going to go and protest in front of the CIP office and ask them, where's the money? I want us to know that we're going to follow Roche, and we're going to start now going out to protest in front of all of the healthcare centers until they reopen the healthcare centers. But I want to say to us that if we're not going to take this thing seriously, it's not going to happen by itself. This is a Labour Party that's not going to listen. They're not going to do these things by themselves. They must know that if we are serious about taking them out of government, that they will react. We cannot continue to just say these things. We know these things are true. We know that they are affecting us. If you are a mother and you have children and you know what children do every day, why do you want to have your child live in threat? If they fall off a tree, if they get hit by a car, anything that happens to them, a knife cuts them, they get burnt in the house, where are you taking them? You can't even get to Martinique because the people in Martinique are protesting. But this is a serious, serious thing. The government is disrespecting all of us. How can it be that a barrel of oil is at $70? and we're at $16.50. During the Flabo days, when a barrel of oil was at $70, the price of gas was $11.50. Come on, people. They are lying to us. They are disrespecting us. And there's only one thing we can do, is to right the wrong. Let us start to show the Labour Party that we mean business. Let them hear our voice. Let them feel our feet. And let us start protesting in this country, because enough is enough. And let us right the wrong. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next Prime Minister of St. Lucia. Let's right the wrong. Now, before we end, people don't leave us yet, because I have a ticket and there's a raffle going on. And I want you to witness me winning that. So we are going to have our raffle right now.
You have my ticket. Alan, you have my ticket. That's my ticket.
Who has my ticket? Who has my ticket? You have to put the ticket in the bag? Oh.
Let me choose it for you.
You know, I don't know the number of my
Who
ticket.
wants it? Who wants it?
Tell them what the raffle is, what the price is.
Okay.
What's the price? It's a cake? Where's the cake? The cake there?
The cake, get the cake.
Bring the cake. Let me see the cake.
Marilyn, go at the back and get the cake in the fridge. Quickly.
Okay, while we wait for the cake to arrive and for the raffle to take place, let me just remind you to join us on our various programs. The political leader has said that November 1st has passed, and we now must begin to act, since our government is not taking action. And we will begin with a number of activities. For example, having your orange ribbon on your car, and there are some protests that we must begin to join into. For example, at the healthcare centers, at the CIP office. But we will let you know, keep tuned in, and we will let you know when and where the action will be taking place, as we expect your support. Yes. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we had a really nice meeting tonight. We got some useful information. But before we leave, to top it all up, whether you're from Soufrière or you live in Soufrière, before we leave, we have a solid bar outside and some nice food awaiting you. So we'll, support the constituency branch by partaking in the food and drinks that are outside. But for now, let me win my cake.
Oh my gosh, hold on. The camera needs to get this.
Oh, wow. United Workers Party. Yeah.
You got that?
Nancy acting as if she win the cake already.
So that can't live in my hands? I don't understand that. Alrighty.
Okay, so now we are going to have the draw. Nancy, if you take your ticket, you have to put it back.
You want this, Sherry? Okay, ticket number 02.
Ticket 02?
4.
024?
024. Number 24.
024?
Who has number 24? Come, baby, come, baby.
024. We have a winner.
Let's get it. We have a winner.
The good thing is I know you can eat that cake by yourself, so I'll give you some help. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me thank all of you for coming out this evening. Let me thank you for participating and being a very good audience. I want to thank all of you who have been following us on live stream. Tonight we had more than 700 people following us on live stream. We want to thank you all over the island, and we want to thank those of you from the diaspora who consistently tune in and follow the United Workers' Party. Thank you very much. Have a good night and get home safely.